So I am in CEX once again and looking at the Switch section, and now I'm looking for my next pickup. I spot something, and it is What is going on, guys? Welcome back once again to the free Trading Game Collection Challenge, the series where I look to build a video game collection. This one right here, without spending any money on it. How do we do that, I hear you ask? Well, there is a playlist in the description for you to peruse at your leisure, where I literally pick up every single thing that you see behind me, and it has cost us nothing. In fact, we've made money in this series. We have a cash balance of however much it is on screen for you right now, together with, of course, the collection value based on CEX prices. So in the last episode, if you missed it, spoiler alert, we went out and picked up a few items. First of which, I say items, we picked up 4 games, I think, on the Xbox One, cost us £5, traded in, I think, for around 14, and then I picked up an Xbox 360 a day later with a bunch of games. Some of them weren't trade-worthy, and there is a few issues with the Xbox itself, but once I fix those issues, which isn't going to cost me anything, it's just a case of opening it up, and yes, I'm lazy, still haven't done it. But I will sell that console on to cover the cost of the console and the games I bought the previous day, and even still come out probably around £10 in profit. So everything that we have left over from that Xbox 360 bundle, I traded in to CEX, which gave us a grand total of £38-ish in trade credit, which is for free, because of course we've just made all that money back by selling the console, or rather we will. I haven't sold it yet, but we will. Speaking of selling, I sold the Fallout 3 strategy guide for full asking price of $49.95 yesterday, which was a massive surprise to me. Walking around town, trying to film some stuff. Really stupid idea, 2 days before Christmas, trying to actually go into town and film things when you're not really looking for anything Christmas present related, although I did end up buying 1 or 2 things. Yeah, bit of a nightmare, but I had some notifications pop up there, and it was a really nice feeling to see that pop up on screen. The fact that I've actually managed to sell it for 50 quid, okay, minus fees and stuff, but still, that's pretty decent. So anyway, today we're going to go into town and we're going to spend that credit. We have £38 to spend, but I'd like a little bit more. So let's talk about this game right here, Rock Band 4. Now, Rock Band 4 is a game that I bought with another one, actually, in Swindon CEX. Cost me £10 each, back when they were that price. And they were going for a little bit more than that on eBay. They were going for about £20 each. So I thought, I'll buy 2, I'll sell 1, and then I'll basically have 1 for free, which is kind of how it worked. I think I sold 1 for like £17 or something, which meant that the other one cost me just £3. But we're in profit in the series anyway, so it is free. But that means that Rock Band game cost me nothing, okay? So why am I trading it in? The whole point of a collection surely is to build up an array of games. It is, but with Rock Band, it's one of those where the guitars are really expensive anyway. I still haven't got round to picking up a guitar. But I noticed when I was looking up the trade price of it the other day that the Xbox One version of this game is pennies compared to the PlayStation version. And when I was thinking about it, all of the songs that I've ever bought in a Rock Band game have all been on the Xbox. And I used to buy a lot back in the Rock Band 1 and 2 days, and Guitar Hero as well, but I don't think they don't play over. But still, all of my music library, if you will, which I've spent a fair chunk of money on, I couldn't tell you exactly, but I do have a pretty decent library of songs, they're all on the Xbox. So if I do get it on the PlayStation, or rather if I bought a guitar on the PlayStation, I wouldn't have that library of games to play through. So I thought, let's see how much it trades in for. It trades in for £12, which is more than I even bought it for. I think they're now trying to sell it for 18. The other week, they were actually trying to sell it for 25. That's when I should have traded it in, because it probably traded in for 15, 18-ish around then. I can't remember what it was, but that's when I should have traded it in. So I'm a little bit late to it, but I'm still going to get more than I paid for in trade credit, which is pretty cool. That £12 takes us up to just over £50. It's £50 and change, but we'll just say £50. That is a pretty decent amount of money to be able to go into CEX and buy some decent mid-range games. You know, there are some fairly new releases in there that have dropped down to that price now. But again, I was a little bit hungry for some more credit, so I went looking around some charity shops. Now, unfortunately, these charity shops were absolutely garbage. The first couple of games I found were CEX priced. I don't think they did it on purpose, to be fair. I think it was just an unlucky coincidence. This charity shop will price games randomly. Like one of them is worth £1, the other one's worth £2. There's one there for £1.50. There's no rhyme or reason for it. It's just something that they've done off the top of their head. I don't really know why. Maybe someone who half plays games has done that. Maybe he has, or they have price matched CEX. I don't know. I started looking at DVDs, and one of my big things to do, or one of my big things used to do, and now I just can't be bothered to do it because I don't have the patience, is to sit there and scan through all of the DVDs. I did it at the very beginning of this series, where I found a Fresh Prince of Bel-Air box set in one of the charity shops that traded in for, I think, £10 or £12, and I think I got it for £1 or £2. So I do like to do that. And of course, if they do have like a 5 DVDs for £1 kind of thing, all you need to do to double your trade credit there is to find a DVD for 40p credit. That's all you need to do, is find a DVD that trades in for 40p. I found a Transformers box set in a charity shop that traded in for £1.20, and they did indeed have 5 for £1, and that was included as one DVD, even though it was a box set. The unfortunate thing there is there was literally nothing else there. Every other DVD that I scanned, I think there was one DVD that scanned for 10p. The rest of them scanned for £1. So I could have bought it and I could have been in profit, but it would have been by about 24p. So I thought, nah, I'll leave that alone. Someone else can have that, or I'll go back at a later date if they've restocked their DVDs. I'll pick that up as well, and we'll be on our way. I went through all the other charity shops trying to do this, and it was just nothing. There was just slim pickings. And I don't know who is doing their Christmas shopping in a charity shop, but they were busy. There was a lot of people. There were a lot of people in these charity shops. So in the end, I cut my losses, and I thought, nope, I've had enough. I'm going to CEX. So the one thing on my shopping list with this credit was Fight Night Champion on the Xbox 360. Now, I hadn't looked it up that day to see whether it was in stock or not, and they usually have one copy. So I'm looking around, find Fight Night 4. I think they had a 3 in there as well, but no Champion. And there was a couple of other boxing games as well, but unfortunately there was nothing. They didn't have the game I wanted, and that was quite literally the only game I went there for. Beautiful Katamari is a very weird and wonderful game. I remember playing that many moons ago, obviously for achievements, but I actually ended up really enjoying myself. You just roll around. You were just a ball of garbage rolling around, and it literally is what it sounds. What other games were they? There was a Tekken game, which is really surprising that this is one of those that is very expensive on the Wii. I say very expensive, it isn't, but for a Wii game, I think it's £15, when it's like £7 on the Xbox 360. I don't think it's anything too special. Tekken, is it Tekken Tag Tournament 2? But I looked at it and I thought, would I want that on the Wii U? Is that something that I really care about having on the Wii U, or would I want that on the 360? Because I do want it. But a couple of games on the 360 there that wouldn't mind picking up at some point, but nothing that was really screaming, buy me with your credit, so I walked away. There was one game, though, that I wanted to pick up, and I'm going to do it a little bit different today. I'm going to show you the pickup basically after I look at the section. And that game was, and you did see it very briefly, I think, Facebreaker on the Xbox 360. This game is not Fight Night Champion, nor does it ever compare to that game. However, I do really like it. It reminds me a little bit of, and I think that's probably the theme they were going for, it reminds me of Ready to Rumble on, I mean, there's so many platforms that game is on. I think I played it on the N64, but I think it's on the PS1. It might even be on the Saturn and a few other systems as well. But yeah, Ready to Rumble, very, very good game, and I think this is what they were trying to go for. It's not bad, and it's something that I do remember playing and had fairly fond memories of. It is complete with the manual as well. It's in very good condition. So yeah, for £1.50, I couldn't really be leaving that there. So I thought, I'll pick it up. It's just something, to be fair, I was looking at these after I picked up my main 2 games. Didn't have an awful lot of money left. So I thought, £1.50, I'll just throw that on the pile and away I go. After I actually looked at the 360 games, I left the store. I mean, obviously I paid for them first, but I left the store. But yeah, Facebreaker, a good little game to add to the 360 collection. Now we hop back into CEX. Very, very brief look at the PlayStation 4 section. So there was a game called Moving Out on the PlayStation 4. that kind of caught my eye. There's one on the Switch, and it might even be, I don't think it's a super rare, but there is a game on the Switch. I think it's called Packing or something, or Unpacking. I actually think it's called Unpacking. You literally unpack your life into your new home. I think that's the entire game. There's obviously going to be more to it than that, but I'm pretty sure that's it. And you put things away in a specific way, the way you'd want it and things. And I think there is a very linear story to it as well. But, you know, it looks interesting. It looks like something you just sit down and casually play. Not for a hardcore gamer who loves FPSs, of sure, but still something for someone. It looked interesting, but for £18 to buy that on a whim without looking it up, not something I was willing to do that day. There were a few other games there, but I didn't really go in there looking for a specific PlayStation 4 game. Sometimes when it comes to PS4 games, I like to buy most of them in a spend and a profit, because a lot of the ones that I want are actually fairly cheap. The slightly more expensive ones that I would like to buy with credit, unfortunately, didn't have there that day. Rust is still one that I didn't buy, and I didn't buy in the Black Friday sale, so I'm kind of waiting now for after Christmas to see if they go into, you know, the January sales, if you will. But I did pick up one game, and again, it's along the same lines of the Facebreaker pickup, where it's not really worth an awful lot, because again, I was just trying to spend and tot up that to that 50, and the game in question is probably a really bad one. Kick-Off Revival. Why have you bought this? This is a really frustrating one for me, really, because this game, for £2.50, you know, for a PlayStation 4 game, you might think, well, that's, you know, it's fine, it's pennies, right, it's fine. But this is actually 99 pence in game. I know. I don't have a game near me, so unfortunately, I can't just walk into a game and pick it up. I did see it there a while ago, a long while ago, when my game was still open, and I thought I'll come back for that, and I completely forgot about it. So, unfortunately, now we're picking it up for over double the price. This reminds me of two games, looking at the back of it. I've not seen anything of it. I've not looked at any trailers or any footage of it, so I've got no idea what this game actually plays like. But it looks like a cross between World Cup Italia 90 on the Mega Drive, and it looks like Sensible Soccer as well, also on nearly every platform you can imagine. Top down, very simple pixels, but it looks enjoyable to me. I loved Sensible Soccer and I loved World Cup Italia 90, so a cross between those two could be very, very good. I think this is probably going to be trash, but at the same time, I kind of like trash games, so it's fine. £2.50 spent on that one, and then we get on to the meat of the pickups. So I am in CEX once again and looking at the Switch section, a platform that I'm desperate to build up. Picked up the Olympic game the other week, of course, and now I'm looking for my next pickup. I spot something, and it is SteamWorld Heist Ultimate Edition. This is a super rare game. This is a publisher based in London that prints very limited runs of indie games. You can get these on Steam for the most part, very, very cheap, but if you want the Switch version, it's going to cost you a lot of money. This is £42. They had a game in the Newport CEX called Darkwood, which is like £11 on Steam, but it's £80 on the Switch, which is ridiculous. But when you're a collector and you're looking at these kind of things, for some reason, something triggers in your brain that you kind of want it. And now I'm looking at super rare games. That's the only one that my CEX has. Looking around at a few other things, I do want to pick up a lot of the first party stuff, you know, the Zeldas, the Marios. We always talk about this. And I very nearly did today. However, there was another game that I picked up for another platform that I wanted, so I didn't quite have enough money to pick up a first party game. Looking at games like this, don't really know how they run and would probably prefer to pick them up on the PlayStation. So I did pick up a Switch game, looking at a few others here or there. Nothing really catching my eye that I can really afford because I've already picked up another game. So let's have a little look to see what Switch game I actually picked up. So this game cost me £25. It may come as a surprise to many of you, but some of you will remember that I was looking at these when I picked up the Olympic game on the Switch. It is Pokemon Sword. This game I did my research on, and apparently it's decent enough that I should be playing it. There are a few on the Switch, and there are a few that I considered. I looked at Diamond and Pearl, and apparently they aren't really worth picking up. I mean, if I'm desperate to play a Pokemon game after I've played everything, fair enough. And then, of course, the slightly newer one, Arceus, which is the one that came out before Scarlet and Violet. That is obviously a game worth picking up and probably better than this one, according to many. But I've not played any of these on the Switch. I haven't played a Pokemon game properly since Pokemon Stadium, maybe on the N64. Obviously, I played the 3 base games on the Game Boy, and that was probably about it. That's my extent of Pokemon. I would say I used to watch it a little bit. I probably did as a kid. Watched it very, like, I don't know, for maybe a year or so, collected the cards quite extensively, and then sold my entire collection, not in one go, but to kids in school who were still collecting. They were going through the height of the collection at the time. I'd kind of dropped off, but I had some pretty expensive ones. If I kept them in the binder that I had as well, because I kept things very, very nice, yes, they would be worth a hell of a lot of money today. Had Blastoise, had Charizard, had a Clefairy, and loads of other things that were obviously going to be worth a hell of a lot of money now. But there we are, that's by the by. This game looks decent, and I'm quite excited to get my teeth into it. And that's our first Pokemon game in the Switch collection. I am definitely going to be adding some more Mario very soon, though, because I think the only 2 Mario games we have at the moment are Strikers and Paper. So, yeah, would like to add, probably Odyssey is going to be the next game. Although, I have noticed that Pokemon Snap has come down to 28. That is a game that I think looks quite relaxing, and apparently is a little bit more fun than it actually looks. So maybe I'll look into that as well. But anyway, let's get back into CEX, have a look through the PlayStation 5 games. So the PS5 section in this CEX spans just like 2 bays, I think, like 1.5 bays. There are a few things here that I wouldn't mind picking up. This here, which is The Evil Dead, I'm not sure. I looked at it and I was like, yeah, I love the movies, but is this online only? I don't know. And I don't know, I just couldn't be bothered to look it up at the time, if I'm honest. So I decided I'll put it back and I'll have a look at a later date. There are a few Call of Duties on the PS5, like Vanguard, for example, that I wouldn't mind picking up. I don't think it's expensive. It's like £12. Alan Wake Remastered, I wouldn't mind getting as well. I played the original on the 360, and then I went back to the Switch to have a little look, and then decided to leave it because I'd already picked up the game that I've decided to walk away with today. It cost me £22. I had no intention of buying this because I feel like this will come down a little bit more. However, this is a Steelbook edition, and I couldn't leave it there because it was the same price as the normal edition, and of course it is a set of games that we are looking to complete. I am of course talking about Resident Evil Village. The Steelbook for this is pretty nice. I haven't actually opened this yet to look to see what it's all about. There is a code in there which has probably been redeemed, but I'll just flip it over just in case. But there it is, absolutely nothing special on the inside, unfortunately, but it does come with a slipcover. We do have the Steelbook. There is no manual, but I'm not sure there ever was. But, like I said, I am going for the entire Resident Evil collection. That's something that I will do at some point, and this is obviously on the list. Haven't played this. I've seen quite a lot of it, and it's definitely going to be something that I look to play quite soon, because the PlayStation 5 is the main console that I use right now. I play most of my games, like most of my sit-down play-through games, like Red Dead and stuff, I will play downstairs, because that's when I get most of my time in the evenings to sit down and just play the game. Up here, that you see behind me, isn't just for display. I do play games on it, but I mainly use it for Xbox 360 and the odd bit of like Switch play if I decide to dock it, for example. So on the Xbox 360 recently, I've been playing quite a little bit of Beijing, but also I've been jumping on Fight Night 4. So yeah, I do play some games up here, but this is going to be one that I sink my teeth into in the evenings after I'm done with Red Dead. I've played a lot of Red Dead recently, so I am getting there. But I could not leave the Steelbook there. Now, that was 22, so I have had to add like £1 or something to this whole thing. I'll take £2 off the cash profit, because why not? But yeah, we're adding 4 games to the collection today, and there they are. A total of £51-ish spent, most of which was used with credit, free credit I might add, that we got back from that Xbox 360 bundle and the Rock Band game that was already in my collection that owes me nothing as well. So there you go. That is how you build a video game collection for free. It's quite literally that simple. I say that simple, of course. I realise that you need to be able to find the deals. You need to have the money to buy the deals. I didn't just go out with an unlimited budget at the very beginning. I went out with a very small budget, of £5–10 trying to buy some things to flip on to get some cash to be able to go and buy some other things in the series. My first big come up in this series was actually a PlayStation 2 bundle. We still have that boxed console. I don't know if you can quite see it above my head there, but that boxed console came with a massive box of games. We had a Mega Drive in there. There was that console. I think there was there a DS in there or a Game Boy or something? We had loads of PlayStation 2 games, some PS4 games, some Xbox games. It was just a massive box. Someone's entire collection that they've managed to accumulate over the years, didn't, you know, a casual gamer's collection, shall we say, just sold it all to me for £40. We made a lot of money on that, and that PlayStation up there is still worth £80-odd plus, and something that I'm very tempted to trade into insane games when I go back there. Probably won't go back there till like February now when the boot sales start again, but still something that I'm very tempted to do. But that's how you build a collection, and that's how you get these type of games into your collection. Now, I know the games I pick up are not everyone's cup of tea. You might not care about Pokemon, you might not want to play Resident Evil Village or whatever, and those two games there you might think, well, that's just a waste of money, and that's fine, but each to their own. You'll play games that I won't be interested in, and I'll play games that you won't be interested in, and that's just the way it goes. That's the beauty of collecting, and it's the beauty of watching other people's videos when they collect, because they will pick up things that you'll never really consider. Maybe go and have a look at a trailer or two to one of these games and see, really think about it. Would you enjoy playing this? Let me know in the comment section if you have played any of these, of course. And until the next time, thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.